Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Steven and this is the Storytime channel. Today we have some I Don't Work Here Lady stories, and our first story of the day is by Yusuke Ruith. I sized and sold shoes at a store I didn't work at. This was a few years ago. This is a feel-good story with no Karens. A little backstory, my kids took Irish dance for years and my son was a very accomplished dancer in both soft and hard show. I also took Irish with an adult class. So one day I had taken a trip to a Scottish-Irish store in the nearest large city near me. As I was browsing, dancer mom and dancer kid came in and wandered around looking a little lost. They eventually approached employee to ask him about Irish dance shoes. Employee took them over to the display and couldn't answer any of their questions. They looked so lost that I decided to help them. "Hi, I see you need some shoes?" The dancer mom says, "Yes, my daughter was gifted Irish dance classes, but she needs the ballet shoes." I say, "Well, they're called gillies, not ballet." The dancer mom says, "I didn't know that." I say, "That's okay, a lot of people don't know. So are you excited to dance, dancer kid?" Dancer kid shyly smiled and nodded, so I proceeded to ask her and her mom if there were any color requirements, etc. I related that while my children wore black, I myself wore a lighter color gilly. I then had dancer kid try on several pairs, explaining that the gilly should not be a shoe to grow into and should fit well to offer support. I also showed them a few different ways to tie and discuss do's and don'ts of a beginner dancer. Some try to do ankle rocks, which can cause a lot of damage if the feet haven't developed strength and can break their ankle. Once we found a pair that fit her feet well and were the right size, we continued to talk about Irish dance more in depth, and dancer kid seemed quite excited to start classes. So off they went to the register. As they were paying, dancer mom mentioned she wanted to make sure I got the commission on the sale, and was shocked when an employee said, "She doesn't work here, ma'am." I laughed and winked at them and said the advice was free. It's a dancer family thing. Dancer mom turns back to the sales clerk and says, "Well, you should hire her. She knows a lot about Irish stuff," and left. As I was paying for my stuff, employee asked me why I helped them, and I said that if I hadn't, the girl would not have a good experience with her shoes as they were totally lost. I then asked them if they were hiring, and we both laughed. So that's my I Don't Work Here Lady story. So if you found yourself in a store and somebody walks up clearly lost looking for something that you have some level of decent knowledge about, are you the kind of outgoing person that would stop and kind of help them out? Or are you the kind of person that really just keeps to yourself and may just kind of look past that situation? Let me know in the comments down below. Our next story is by Yamato159. I'm a truck driver and I don't work here, lady. I'm a long-haul truck driver, and this happened a few years ago when I delivered a load of shopping carts to Target. I drove for almost 10 hours that day, and it was taking some time to unload my trailer. I understand it's a big load for a store and they need time to get it done. Well, while they unload, I go through the back to use a restroom and also talk to a manager for parking arrangements because my hours for that day are running out and I can't make it to a truck stop. I'm in Los Angeles and there are few truck stops. Gotta go ahead for parking on their lot. They finally unload me and I move my truck in a corner of a lot. After that, I went into the store to look at what they have and just to kill some time. Found nothing to buy and thought, well, I might as well head back and play some video games. As I walk out, I hear, "Hey, can you help me?" I ignore it and keep on walking just to feel a hard tap on my shoulder. Me, surprised, says, "What the freak?" and turn around to be greeted by a couple. Karen tells me, "Are you deaf?" I say, "Sorry, but why am I deaf?" I asked if you can help me." Me going, "Well, you could be nicer about it." I get, "Why are you talking to customers like that?" I say, "Sorry, but you've got me confused with someone else." "You need to help me load my car right now," snapping her finger at the same time. "Lady, don't you snap your freaking fingers at me." "Who do you think you are?" Me not letting her finish, "Who do you think you are?" Karen replies, "I'm a customer and you need to help me." Me not caring at all because I know my pickup will be a long one, hate multi-loads. "Lady, I don't work here and if you need help, ask politely." "Get me your manager." "My manager is in Canada." This took place in California. This took place in front of the main doors to the store and manager runs out to see what's going on. Karen goes off at manager saying, "Your employee won't do their job and how can they hire such a lazy person?" Me looking at her and asking, "What made you think I'm an employee at this place?" While wearing shorts and a t-shirt that says, "Sorry I'm late, but I didn't want to be here in the first place." "I've seen you walking from the back of the store and talking to this guy." "Lady, I was delivering a load here and had asked for permission to park." Manager finally gets a word in, saying he doesn't work here. "Well, why was he in the back of your store?" "He is a truck driver that delivered shopping carts to this location, and I will get someone to help you load your stuff." Me thinking it's all over, and went back to my truck to play some video games. Until I get a call from my dispatch. Dispatch saying, "Hey, how's it going?" I say, "Not too bad, didn't you receive my bill of landing?" Dispatch says, "No, we got that, but we received a phone call from a concerned citizen about your behavior. What's going on because she gave no details?" I explained what happened, and it's a pretty stupid situation. Get, "Oh, okay, we thought it was something serious, but don't worry and just chill. Don't forget, you got pickup tomorrow." Having a phone number on my truck is a pain. It's definitely a blessing and a curse for the average person to have the phone numbers on the truck. Obviously, if somebody does something genuinely bad, you can call and report and get it known. But then you have plenty of Karens who will just willingly abuse that number however they can, except this Karen didn't try that hard. They just reported their behavior and gave no details, like that's going to do something. Poor OP. This next story is by Lost in the Library. If you know where you're going, maybe you can help me. A wholesome I don't work here lady story. For context, here in Australia, Kmart is pretty big and popular. For those in the US, it's more akin to your Target than your Kmart or Walmart. One key thing about Aussie Kmart is that almost every store is set out the same way, with the departments all in the same order. So if you shop there regularly, like me, you quickly learn your way around the store, even if it's a Kmart store you've never been to before. The only difference is that occasionally the store layout is flipped, like a mirror image of the usual layout. So we were at a local shopping center and we went into Kmart to look at a couple of things, including a specific vase we wanted. This wasn't our usual Kmart, and it was pretty busy being Sunday afternoon, so my wife was a little turned around and getting a bit flustered. My wife says, "Hang on, we need to find the vases. I'm not sure where they are." I say, "Follow me, it's this way." I start walking in the right direction. She says, "Are you sure? I think we've already passed them." Me calling over my shoulder, "I know where I'm going." Sweet old lady says, "Oh, if you know where you're going, you might know where I need to go then." I stopped in my tracks and laughed, mostly at myself because I realized I was being kinda loud and probably obnoxious. My wife laughed too, also at me. "Of course I'll help. What are you looking for?" Sweet old lady says, "Do you know where the hangers are?" Wife says, "Oh, I do. We just passed them." My wife then ran back to the row with the hangers and gestured grandly. The sweet old lady thanked us and said something like, "I know you don't work here, but I was a bit lost, and since you seemed so confident, I thought I'd ask you for help." She got her hangers and we parted ways. Sadly, they didn't have the vase we wanted in stock. Not your typical Karen or angry white man story, and not technically I don't work here lady, but it did make me think of this sub and I had to share. Well, compared to the last story, this is definitely a breath of fresh air. It's nice to have good-hearted moments among the sea of evil or obnoxious or rude Karens. And most of the time, it ends up being a sweet older lady or an older gentleman. This next story is by Trey Asian. I'm in my scrubs. Why do you think I work here? For context, I'm a veterinary nurse. We wear scrubs like human nurses. Pretty distinct uniform. Navy blue with my vet hospital's logo embroidered on it. Sometimes after work, I'll need to go in to do some shopping, or I might duck in before work depending on how I'm traveling. Surprisingly, I have been asked to assist people in grocery stores, office and stationery stores, hardware stores, as well as home electronics and DVD stores. It's happened more often than I'd like to be honest. Never really had anyone be rude or angry about the confusion, but I just wonder what it is that makes people think I work there. The most recent time, I just had someone ask me, "Do you work here? I need some help." Upon turning to him, he saw my uniform and said, "Oh, sorry, I thought you were staff." No big deal, but I still don't understand why you thought I worked here, holding a big roll of bubble wrap in one hand and drinking a chalky milk with the other in my work uniform. The best one was an old fellow at an electronics store. I was waiting near the counter for an order that had come in when the older gentleman approached me.
Do you work here, young man?
No, but I think...
I need some help deciding which soundbar will suit my TV. Come this way.
I can't help you, I don't...
What do you mean? Are you waiting for someone? Can you call a colleague to help you?
I don't actually work here. After this, I think he saw that my clothes didn't exactly match with the employee who came and asked if he needed some help. He turned and apologized, stating he thought I worked there because I looked like I might know what he needed. Granted, I have worked in electronics retail, so I honestly could have given some advice. But it once again begged the question, why is it I get asked if I work here while wearing scrubs? I am genuinely so baffled, but it does make for some interesting interactions. OP is definitely not the only unique person with this problem. There's been a number of times where people wearing scrubs pop up in this subreddit, getting confused for somebody that works in the most ridiculous of places for somebody in scrubs to be. Maybe people just see the scrubs and assume that they wouldn't just wear that out in public, so they must be working there in some capacity, I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact that scrubs are a uniform, so in their mind it just defaults to this must be an employee or something. Our next story is by Faco5045. I don't work at this hospital. This one is a fun one. No crazy Karen involved, just a very, very tired woman. Once upon a time, I pricked myself with a needle while putting some stitches on a patient. Sometimes crap happens, so as safety protocols go, I needed to get myself tested for all blood-related diseases and get the preventative medication. For reasons unknown to me till this day, I couldn't do this on my own hospital, but the one approved by my work's insurance, an hour away. But no big deal, I went there and oh my god, the ER was full. 6 p.m. Friday night. It takes an hour for me to even be seen by a colleague who orders all my lab tests and then sends me to the waiting area, which were actually some chairs in the middle of the observation unit. As I told you, this place was in limits of its capacity. So apart from there being no empty chairs, there was actually no space where I could stand still without being a hindrance to the people working. So I ended up standing right in front of the nurse's desk, waiting for my name to be called. Little detail I forgot to mention until now. All this happened with me still wearing my scrubs, which have Dr. Faco no last name, general practitioner, embroidered on the chest pocket. After some time, this middle-aged nurse, who I will call Nurse Twyla, came to me full force. She looked tired, like on the verge of fainting tired. Wild hair, messy uniform, the stethoscope hanging out of her pocket, but with that energy burst you have just right before you collapse. The next words are obviously reconstructed, but I am trying to be exact. Twyla says, "Hi doctor, goodness what a day we're having, am I right?" Me not understanding, thinking she just wants to talk. "Sure, this place looks packed." She says, "And that's nothing. Let me tell you all you're going to deal with tonight." Me in my mind, "Sorry, what?" Before I could answer, Twyla takes out her chart and starts describing all the patients in the unit. So the patient in 1 is just recovering from a heart attack, 2 is probably a broken hip, we are waiting on the x-ray, 3 is a case if I say so myself, complete renal failure. I can't believe he is still alive, but moving on. I say, "Sorry, Nurse Twyla?" I looked at the name and the work ID she had on the neck. Twyla says, "Yes, doctor? Any doubts?" I say, yeah, you see, I am not a doctor. Or, well, I am a doctor, but at St. Some Guy's Name Hospital, not here. Here, I am just another patient." She gives me this confused, wide-eyed stare that lasts way too long. The only comparison I can think of is a robot that has suddenly glitched and is trying to process its surroundings. After maybe 30 seconds, she snaps out of it and turns red of embarrassment. She said, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, doctor. Doctor." She literally said that, no paraphrasing here. "I am so sorry for bothering you. We are having so many new staff members these days, it's hard to keep track of them all. Have you seen by any chance the other head nurse, a tall woman, blonde hair with a white scrub?" I say, "I think she went that way." I pointed my finger to where I saw the blonde nurse go 10 minutes before. Twyla says thanks, and again, "I am so sorry." After that, poor nurse Twyla went looking for her coworker, and I never saw her again. But I hope she got a well-deserved sleep after the heck day she was having. You definitely have to give a lot of credit to people that work in hospitals and any kind of real healthcare type setting, especially ones that are almost assuredly 24/7 operating. They can put in some insane hours and do a lot of work. Our next story is by Baby Don't Come Back. Rich Butthead thought my buddy was a valet. Friend of mine is a driver for delivery service. He has a delivery to a hotel in a northeast US city. He parks his truck around the corner, grabs the package and hoofs it off to the hotel, has front desk person sign for it, and leaves the building. Just as he goes outside, a guy pulls up in a brand new Porsche, jumps out, tosses the keys to him and says,
"Park it close, I'll only be a few minutes."
So my buddy hops in, drives the car down the street, parks it, leaves it running, doors open, in traffic. He goes back to his truck and continues his deliveries. Legend. Is what OP did there illegal? I feel like it is, but I don't know what law that would be breaking specifically. Is that theft? Maybe? I don't know. I maybe would have just turned the car off and left the keys in it right outside the hotel. And our final story of the day is by Naked Unicorn Sex Party. So this happened earlier while I was at Starbucks waiting for my drink. I am the furthest customer from the door and from the till. I was standing near a corner just waiting for my drink. Random lady walks in, completely ignores the counter, and comes to me and attempted to tell me what she wants to order. I cut her off before she got to say too much of her order. "I don't work here, go to the counter and order." She gives me a look that basically said my reaction towards her was rude, and then she just leaves the store. People be weird. I was wearing an iridescent Triforce hat that has a pin that says the F word on it, and another that says I'm a freaking unicorn. I was wearing my over-the-ears headphones, my Legend of Zelda face mask, I had my jacket on and my backpack, and was playing on my phone while waiting for my name to be called. Literally nothing about me says, "I work here." Maybe they realized how wrong they were, how embarrassing it was for them to just walk up to somebody that clearly didn't work there, and they were able to consciously realize, you know what, I'm just gonna leave. It blows my mind whenever somebody just walks into a store, sees any random person, and just immediately assumes that's gonna be the person that takes my order regardless of what they're wearing and what the circumstance is. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So if you have a favorite story of the day, let me know which story and why in the comments down below. But besides that, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, and if you haven't, subscribe and turn notifications on so you'll never miss an upcoming video. No matter what you do, whether it's just viewing the video, liking, subscribing, turning notifications on, I appreciate the heck out of it. Every little thing that you do helps the channel grow that much more, and I can't thank you enough for it. So until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll be right here next time on the Storytime channel.